right? King.
That's buddies, right?
Hey, my man.
About that.
Hey, brother. I wanted to ask you something, man. You come around here. Let me ask you something real quick.
Brothers, I gotta go, but can I ask you? Because I heard the verse.
Hold on, wait.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me ask you. Hey, man. Do you think we should let's say you got this great individual, right, who goes around the neighborhood feeding the homeless, clothing the homeless, right, giving them shelter, doing any and everything for them, right? But we find out that he's a pedophile. Should we follow him?
It's our choice, but I'd say no.
You say no.
Yeah.
So, and that's the point. That's our point. Because when you read the Quran, when you read the Hadiths, it says Muhammad was a pedophile.
Well, they say a lot of things, and you never know who to believe.
Well, here we can read it for you. Watch, check it out.
Sahih al-Bukhari 5134, that the Prophet married her when she was 6 years old.
When she was 6 years old.
And he consummated his marriage when she was 9 years old.
All right, so he married her at 6 and consummated the marriage at 9.
Hisham said, I have been informed that Ayash remained with the Prophet for 9 years.
But so yeah, man, Muhammad. So I see you looking at this sign. What you think about this one right there?
I don't know.
You don't know
I don't.
about white Jesus?
I'm not sure, but I don't even believe in that.
You don't believe in what? The Bible? You don't believe in Jesus?
No.
Why not?
Because there's no evidence that he existed, and people thought differently back then. So yeah, marrying a 9-year-old, that was nothing for them.
What?
They thought differently about marriage and little girls.
That they were marrying 9-year-old girls back then?
If that's in there, then that was okay for them.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, for us it is.
For anyone.
Well, not for them.
That was ridiculous. But you said there was no evidence
Yeah,
to say that Jesus Christ was real.
yeah.
Right? So what about all the historians that say he was?
They lie.
They lie?
Always lie. They always lie.
So we're talking about historians, right?
Historians.
Maybe what we're talking, maybe 100 years, a century after he died.
That's a good point. I mean, people write about him hundreds of years after he lived.
We're talking about people who aren't Christians, who weren't religious, confirming that he was alive.
I got something for you. Right, so this is Pliny the Younger on Christians. Pliny the Younger, like how he's saying, isn't a Christian. This is a historian, right? Pliny the Younger, the Roman governor of Bithynia.
Right.
And
Wait, read that again. Who was he?
Pliny the Younger, now in modern Turkey, wrote a letter to Emperor Trajan around AD 110 and asked for counsel on dealing with the early Christian community. The letters, Epistole X 96, details on account on how Pliny conducted trials of suspected Christians who appeared before him as a result of anonymous accusations. So this man was dealing with trials of Christians in the year 110. Did this man make this? All of this is make believe?
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they can twist history any way they want. But there are people who they're not religious, but they've written books that Jesus didn't really exist.
But this guy is not religious. Said he did.
Really?
Josephus.
Philly the Younger?
He
said he existed?
He was attesting to the trial that Christ went through.
Christians.
That Christians were going through.
And what is a Christian? Follower of Christ.
Of Jesus.
Exactly. And there's other people like Josephus, Tacitus. I mean that are unbiased historians writing about this man and things that his followers were going through. Right? Let me ask you.
What's your ethnicity?
My ethnicity?
Yes.
African American.
Are you aware that African American is a made-up term?
I don't know. I mean, they they have the power to throw out whatever they want, to call us whatever they want, and people go along with it.
Shouldn't we be calling ourselves what we want?
Nobody asks us.
Sure. But I mean, but it would be important to know who we are, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what part of Africa you're from?
No.
No. No idea.
No. But it doesn't change what's happening now. You know what I mean?
Like what's happening now?
The same things that have been happening to people, minorities, for a long time.
Can you name one?
You know what I mean.
But like, well, because I mean, I see what's happening to us isn't necessarily happening to Chinese people. So what do you?
I said minorities. I didn't say Chinese.
Are they not minorities?
No, I didn't say Chinese.
You said minorities, right?
Yeah.
So are Chinese people minorities?
No.
They're not?
No.
And who are minorities?
There are over 1 billion people in China.
We're talking about in America. Do you know how many people are in? We're talking about in America.
So, yeah.
Right? We're talking about in America. Are they not minorities in America?
Yes.
Okay then. So what do you mean? What is happening to which minority
Black
group are you
people.
talking? Black people.
Okay.
Okay. So so we are going through a struggle in this country, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea why?
Because they're jealous. And they're afraid that black people, Latin people, are going to be better at something than they are.
Are we not better than them?
Yeah, in some things, yeah.
In some things. Dare I say all things? I would say all things.
Yeah, but you're saying also Jesus is a Negro.
Yeah. That's exactly what we're saying. Was he not?
I heard that he was.
He was, right? Right? But what we're out here doing is people right here on this side, right? Make up the 12 tribes of Israel, make up the people in the Bible, the main characters in the Bible. And we're out here to let you know that you're part of it.
Isn't she a celebrity?
You said what?
Isn't she a celebrity?
Yeah.
An opera singer?
I mean, it might be. You have plenty of people from all over, man. You know, like you said, our people are the best, right? So we do it all.
So what's the point?
So do you believe in anything in the Bible?
I'm not well read. In the Bible.
Not real well. Well, let's read you something. Then. Let me get a 28.
You said I wouldn't have to stay long. Already you're lying.
2868?
Yeah, let me get 2868. Let's just get to it. Let's just get just one thing, right?
Deuteronomy.
Hold on, wait. So when I'm gonna just give you a quick rundown, right? So when Moses brought the children of Israel out of Egypt, he gave them laws, commandments, culture, if you will, right? And he told them that if you follow the culture, you'll be set on high as a people and if you don't follow the culture, you'll be cursed as a people. And one of the curses was this one right here. Go ahead, read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So it says that they're going to be brought into Egypt again with ships. And what they were doing in Egypt, the reason Moses had to go up to Pharaoh and say, let my people go, is because they were serving captivity there. So he says you're going to be brought into captivity with ships. What does that sound like to you?
They're going to come back to Egypt with ships.
No, to captivity.
Captivity?
To captivity.
With ships.
In ships, yes.
Or on ships.
On ships. And they put on ships and brought into captivity. What does that sound like to you?
African slave trade?
Sounds like the transatlantic slave trade, right? Keep reading.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, and there ye shall be sold.
You skip the line.
Oh, Slagia. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold.
So when we get off these ships, when those people get off these boats, they're going to be sold. To who?
They shall be sold unto your enemies.
No, they're going to be sold to their friends.
Sold unto your enemies.
They're going to be sold to their enemies. Right?
Yeah.
For bondmen and bondwomen.
For slave man and slave woman. Sound like what we went through?
Yeah.
Do you think it's a coincidence?
No.
No. Go ahead.
And no man shall buy you.
Right? And no one's going to come and get you. No one's going to come rescue you. You're going to be stuck here.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You think that's a coincidence?
Well, no, but why? Well, I mean, it doesn't explain why.
Right? Get 46. And 47.
46 and 47.
Yeah, 46 and 47.
Deuteronomy 28?
Yep.
All right, got it.
Good.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 46. And they shall be upon you, thee for a sign, and for a wonder,
Right. So the curses that were placed upon you, they're going to be on you for a sign and for a wonder to help identify who these people are. Go ahead.
and upon you thy seed forever,
I see forever.
and upon thy seed forever.
Right. So the curses are going to be upon the children of Israel forever.
Why? What did they do?
I told you what they did. They didn't follow the culture. Read the next one.
Verse 47, because thou servedest not the Lord thy God
Right. Because they served not the Lord. They didn't serve God. Right. Didn't follow the culture.
with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things.
Right. So we stopped following our culture. We stopped serving our God, and that's why we get punished.
Everybody is punished.
Not everyone,
For
just the people that you see on this sign. Because when you read the Bible, it talks about how He's the God of Israel and no one else.
Thy seed forever.
Well, these people are all doing pretty well. Some of them are famous.
I mean, but you look at we're not. But it's not about the individual. It's about all of us.
But you just said it's just about some people.
Yeah, it's about the people. Yeah, about the look. It's about the Central Americans. It's about the Central Americans. It's about the African American, the Haitian, the Jamaican. It's about these people, not the pictures of the individual. It's about the nation of people.
Because brother, look, the only reason they're different people on here is so that we can show that it's not about skin color, it's about where you're from. These are all people from the same nation, they all look different. These are all Mexicans down there, but they all look different. It's not about what you look like, it's about who you descend from. That's what we're trying to say.
So why does everybody have to pay for what they did back then?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Let me get Isaiah. What are you pulling out? Isaiah 14?
No.
Let me get Isaiah 14 and 1. Right. Right. Because this is something. Right. You got it. You got something.
Yeah, I got something.
Right.
So, and just to summarize before I do read it, we're all paying for past sins, brother. We don't believe in a hell and a heaven and none of that. That's not what the Bible teaches, right? So whatever you were doing in your past life, you're living out your judgment right now for it, right? So this is Exodus 20 and 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. This is talking about idols, right? Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
Right. So essentially, like we're paying for the sins of our forefathers. And to give you an example of it, it's like if I go into debt, gambling, whatever the case is, right? And I end up losing my house, right? My son can no longer reap the benefit. He's affected by that, by my actions. The actions of our forefathers have set up the board for us to be in this position today.
Well, that's not fair, and it doesn't make sense. Because if you're going to follow a God like that, you're in trouble.
Well, I mean, what do you think? Do you have any children?
No.
You don't have children?
No.
Do you have nieces, nephews?
2.
2, right? Have you ever babysat them?
No.
No, never babysat? What do you think? Okay, when you were young, when you were a child, right?
Yeah.
What would happen to you when you disobeyed your parents?
I get beating.
You get beatings. It's the same thing. Our God is looked at as a father figure. When you don't follow the orders of your parents, you get punished for it.
Exactly.
This is a punishment that we're going through right now.
Yeah, but beatings are all subjective. Not all parents beat their kids.
Sure, but I mean, my question becomes, if when your child does wrong, right, and you punish them without getting physical, and that behavior does not stop, what do you do?
That's always a cop-out reason. That's always, yeah. And then when they become 16, 14, and they're big, you stop beating them because they're going to hit you back. That's why you don't beat them anymore.
No, see, I want to say a few things, right? I grew up with brothers who their mom, their dad would never lay a hand on them. And guess where they're at? in jail, in prison, doing terrible, right? And you think I would ever raise my voice at my dad or my mom? No, because they never spared the rod on me, bro. Every time I got punished, it was for a reason. The same thing with God. Watch, get that for him right there.
Amos chapter 3 verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt.
Excuse me, brother. What's your name?
Clifford.
Clifford, right? So this is talking to you, talking to Clifford right here, right? Go ahead.
Saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth.
Right, so these black, Latinos, and Native American people that you're seeing on this sign, including you, Clifford, he says he's only known us, right? He's our father. He's not the father of anyone else. He's not the father of little Timmy down the street, right? Keep going.
Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
Right, so he's going to punish us for us getting in trouble.
Like a parent?
Like exactly like a parent.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. But this is a hell of a punishment.
He's a hell of a God. He is a hell of a God. He literally created all this.
I got something for you too, right? Because then you said that's a bad. I want to. Maybe I misheard you, but you said that's like not something we should be following then, right? But it's all for a reason, right? How do we get out of this predicament then? How do we not get punished? How do we not get hit? How do we not get chastised then? Clifford, you don't stick to this book. If we get punished for disobeying, what should we do then to be these people that I'm saying you are, a king, a God on earth?
So to not to end up in jail, like your parents took care of, make sure you didn't end up in jail. There are all kinds of ways to raise kids, and you don't have to beat them. My stepfather, he didn't believe in beating kids, children.
Well, I mean,
He said that adults are more powerful than kids, and it's not balanced. So he talked them to death. He lectured them to death, and they turned out fine.
That's not everybody though.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not necessarily about beating. We're talking about just punishment in general.
Well, like I said, it's a hell of a punishment.
Well, I mean, because you gotta understand. We act like God owes us something, right? And we don't. When he created us, and all he asked us to do was to follow his orders.
Yes, he's a jealous God. You got to follow his orders.
Right.
And nobody asked to be born. He's responsible for us. He created it.
Yes.
So he does owe us.
Why?
Because he brought us here.
That is ridiculous. He gave you life.
So what? Nobody asked him. Nobody asked him. We were all out in the space or whatever, minding our own business. He put us here, and he owes us for what he did.
He literally owes us nothing, man.
Let me read something for you, King. Clifford, give me 1 second, right? Okay, cool. No, but our point, what I want you to try to get from what we're trying to say is, as the main people who matter here, when we mess up, we're the ones going to get held accountable. If all these other people aren't going through those oppressions that you're talking about, they know where they come from. You ask any white man, where are you from? I'm from Europe. From where? Oh, from Britain. But when I ask a black man, where are you from? You have no idea. Right? The same chapter that he brought up that you were going to get put on slave ships as a punishment mentions you're going to forget who you are. Why? Because it's all to remember this God, right? And do what he's telling you, because the promises are that much greater than what we're going through. Right? So watch this, right? This is Lamentations 5:7. Our fathers have sinned and are not, and we have borne their iniquities. Servants have ruled over us. There is none that doeth deliver us out of their hand. Right? No one's saving us, right? But verse 16 says, the crown is fallen from our head. I'm telling you, Clifford, we are gods here. We're kings here. But why are we not kings? It says, crowns have fallen from our head. Woe unto us that we have sinned. And it's all coming down to that, to us not even knowing what sin is, us not even believing in Jesus, us not even believing in nothing. Why? Because these all make-believe lies we were taught during Christian slavery. They showed us how to believe in this fake God as punishments. You're nobody. I'm better than you. Jesus is white. He looks like me. I'm going to beat you, steal your woman, steal your land. All of that. So once we start unlearning this dogmatic religion that was forced on us, then we see the true Bible for what it is, right? Other than that, for example, morality, brother.
Yeah.
Let's go into morality, right? You said, do better, listen. How? If nobody's telling you what is good, what is bad, I'm going to just let you do your own thing. What is good and what's bad, Clifford?
You have to rely on your parents.
But what if they don't teach you that and they just let you do whatever you want? Because I'm not going to hit you. I'm not going to correct you.
Are like that.
So how should a parent be then?
Like my stepfather. He talked to you first, like a human being. He didn't beat you.
But see, but that's the thing. God did talk to us first. He talked to us first, because he told us that when we. Because I like referring to this as our culture, because this is what it is, and I think it with me it holds more weight. It says when we don't follow our culture, he told us, I'm going to put you on the racial hierarchy. All you have to do is just follow the culture that I'm giving to you.
But not everybody had the word.
Because it wasn't for them, it was only for us.
Yeah, but not us.
But we did.
Not everybody
Yes,
did it.
yes, we did. We had it. He brought all of us out of Egypt and told us what to do. And we turned our backs on it because we wanted to be like every other nation of people. We seen what these Chinese people were doing with their kung fu. We seen that the Japanese were doing with their karate, and we were enamored by it. We loved it, and we forgoed our culture.
For example, Clifford, are you aware that black men ruled Spain, Europe for 1,000 years?
Yeah.
What happened?
They were chased out by the Spanish.
You're telling me these effeminate white men are able to rule over us as if it's not an act of God? You're talking about, for example, right? I'm indigenous. You're talking about men who had to kill 3 bears in order to wear that bear's coat. Men that had to kill 3 jaguars to be called a jaguar warrior got overtaken by damn Chad over here? That's an act of God, bro. That's a curse. That's not something that would just happen. You said we're better than them.
Yeah,
right?
I'm saying that the Spanish and the Moors, right? That
The
took over
Moors.
Spain.
Yeah.
The Spanish were pretty much pigs. They didn't appreciate what the Moors brought them, and they joined forces and forced them out in 1492, I think. Yeah. So they forced them out.
So yeah, but getting back to it, man, because we have to get back to following our culture, and which is why what we're doing is so important. Because when I asked you what your ethnicity was, right? You said African American, which is made up.
I had no choice but to say that.
Sure, but now we're telling you that you're a child of Israel. Because like we just read in Deuteronomy, it said the children of Israel were going to get put on ships and brought into captivity.
I can't say that either, because then I have to read the Bible like he does.
You said that again?
I have to read the Bible like he does.
Absolutely, you should. You should absolutely read this Bible, because the book is about you. Where you guys?
Where in Africa did they bring slaves from?
West Africa?
From where?
Where? West Africa?
What was that called?
At the time?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It was called Negro Land. You ever heard of it?
No. Only that was after.
No, this is about if you look at a 1700, like what is it, 17 something? Right? It was called Negro Land. Here, let me pull it up for you.
Yeah,
right?
check this out.
But in 1619 it wasn't.
Look, these places right here, brother, they were named the kingdom of this, the kingdom of that. We're going to show you, right? And these places is where the slaves got brought from, right? Are you familiar with Jerusalem falling? Like 135 AD? It started 70 AD and ended then?
So.
Okay, so that ended. The Jews were dispersed everywhere, right? Going along with these curses, you're going to be set everywhere else. They went to Africa. There's kingdoms in Africa called Kingdom of Judea. The Levites, the Kohen, the different people there. The French took some, the British took some, the Spaniards took some. So from these places is where you come from, brother. And if you're telling me, well, I got to look at the Bible, we're showing you history. This is what history says where you came from.
But there are a lot of diverse people in Africa.
We're talking about west coast of Africa, brother.
Negro Land. You see that? Where it says Negro Land?
Yeah, I see.
Right? So let me ask you this. Have Have you ever heard of anyone else being called Negroes?
No.
No. Let me get that in Acts.
What is it?
13. Let me get 13, right? You never heard anyone else? Nobody else is called, because you get with the Arabs, you know, they may be called like sand niggers or something like that. Yeah. There's always something before it that they're just not called Negro. It's like we are, right? Go ahead, read that.
Acts chapter 13, verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon.
So we're talking about first century Jews here, right?
That was called
nigger. We're called nigger, right? That's what they call us. That's what they called the first century Jews. Wasn't sand nigger? Wasn't Christian Jews?
But that word is relatively new. Modern.
I mean, it's not. It's not. They're using it way back then, first century.
That's in the Greek too.
Right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because you know a lot of these European languages come from Latin, Greek, Latin, right? You look at it in Spanish, means black, dark-skinned people is what they were talking about.
But that nigger is a derogatory term.
I mean, it turned into a derogatory term, sure, but essentially when they were using it originally, it just meant that you were dark-skinned, right? Because look, watch this. My brother speaks Spanish here. How do you say black in Spanish?
Negro.
Is it derogatory?
No.
Exactly. When they brought it up in English, it turned derogatory because of what they were doing, but that doesn't mean the word itself is derogatory.
No, I didn't say that. I'm just saying what you expect from Americans and Europeans.
Yeah.
I got it.
Hold on, brother.
No,
Real fast.
That's what you said.
That derogatory.
Did you get a flyer? Somebody get a flyer for this man.
That derogatory term that you're saying, it was called to the Jews, right?
Uh-huh.
Those Jews in Israel today, would they be called that?
Ooh.
No.
Why not?
Because there's vicious people. Look what they're doing to the Palestinians.
Or I'll make it this simple. Why wouldn't you call a white person that?
A white person?
Yeah.
Yeah, why wouldn't you call them?
A Jewish person?
No, just a white person in general. Why wouldn't you call it?
That's not the term that's a derogatory term.
Because they're niggers, right? They're not black.
Right.
They're not dark skinned, so it would be ridiculous to call them that. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why they're not called. The Bible says that Jews were called. We're called. It says the children of Israel will be put on ships and brought into slavery. We were put on ships and brought into slavery.
Well, they've kept a lot of information from people.
I agree.
I never heard that before.
And that's the thing, right? When you look at let me get Romans 10 in the message, please, if you can. Right? When you throughout, man, growing up, you guys had Bibles in the house?
No.
No? You didn't have Bibles in the house?
No.
Did anybody? You go to your grandmother, she had Bibles? I know somebody had to have a Bible.
No.
No? No Bibles?
He's not religious.
No? Really? That's interesting.
Only the ones in the South.
That's interesting. Well, have you ever been to
I've been there.
And they had Bibles, right?
Yeah. They didn't bring them out.
They didn't bring them out. Yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff is a lot of these things just sit on the shelf and collect dust.
Yeah.
Right? Because they talk about, they go to these churches, do all this stuff, right? But we have the reason we have such a connection to the Bible. Not necessarily. It's got nothing to do with the white man giving it to us. It's because we're the people of the book, and it's in us to have this connection with God. You got it?
Like, for example, with Nat Turner, you know who Nat Turner is?
Yeah.
How come when everybody else was looking at the Bible through a slave lens, or wasn't even able to read, right? But it took Nat Turner. He said, "You know what? This is me right here. This is clicking with me right here." The same way how we read all these prophecies that are supposed to happen to our people, when I look at it and I say, how come we're not calling those white people in Israel that, but they call me that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Why? Because it's for us, bro.
Right. You got that?
Yeah.
Here, read this. And then we're not gonna hold you anymore.
Right. This is Romans 10 in the message. Believe me, friends, all I want for Israel is what's best for Israel.
Right? All I want is what's best for you. It's all Paul who wrote this. All these is right. All I want is what's best for us, right? Which is what?
Salvation.
Salvation, being saved, taken out of the hand of our enemies.
My bad. It says nothing less. I want it with all my heart and pray to God for it all the time. I readily admit that the Jews are impressively energetic regarding God.
Right? We're energetic about God, man. You look at it. We make fun of it all the time, but when you see black folks in these churches and these women falling out, and man, you look at the TD Jakes and how people, man, throwing all their rent money, right? We're energetic for God because we deep down there's something in us that knows we're His people. We may not have it up here, but something in here knows we have a connection to Him, right?
But they are doing everything exactly backwards.
Right? But we're doing everything that He doesn't want to do. Everything's backward. Everything's the opposite of what He wants us to do, right? So, which is why we get called Mexicans, blacks and Latinos, right? Keep going.
African American. They don't seem to realize that this comprehensive setting things right, that is salvation, is God's business.
Right? That's His business. It's for us to be saved, for us to get right, keep our culture so we can be saved.
And it says, and a most flourishing business it is. Right across the street, they set up their own salvation shops and noisily peddle their knockoffs. After all these years of refusing to really deal with God on His terms,
right? We just refuse to deal with God on His terms. Man, I was talking.
He owes us something.
Exactly. He owes, like you were saying, man. He owes us when he don't. I was just talking to some Jehovah's Witness down there. I read her Deuteronomy 28:68. She denied.
Say whatever you want. He brought people into the world. He owes them something. Your parents brought you into the world. They have to clothe you. They have to feed you.
What if He's promising you everything, but you have regulations you need to do in order to get it?
You shouldn't have to.
Says who?
Because you're a kid.
Says
you don't
who?
know anything.
What did white people do to be over us right now?
Nothing.
Okay. And what should happen for them to come down?
What do you mean?
Nothing? We're gonna get in that position that they're in by doing nothing?
No, I'm saying they haven't done anything.
Oh, okay, so something put them up there, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, my belief is some divine thing put them over us who are better, stronger, smarter at everything compared to them.
Because
and
there's
now,
something wrong with those people.
So what do we have to do, Clifford? So what do we have to do, Clifford, in order to be above them? Nothing?
No, I didn't say that.
So what do we do?
Well, I don't think God is the answer.
What is the answer then?
The answer is unification. And religion has done nothing for Native Americans.
Religion,
has done
correct?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Correct. Religion.
God.
But this is not a religious book. It's just not.
Obviously, with the word nigger in it.
I mean, we got a different translation that says the black man. It still doesn't make it a religious book. It's nothing. There's nothing religious
Well,
about
you're
this.
talking about God.
Does that mean it's religious?
Yes.
How?
Because
And something else too. You said unification, right? Were we better off when we were in Africa by ourselves?
yes,
So do we need unification?
those people weren't unified either.
Who?
They were all different tribes, different religions. They weren't all the same.
Okay, were we unified in Black Wall Street?
Yes,
And what happened?
they burned it down.
So what do we do if unification doesn't work then?
That's not our fault.
Whose fault?
It's the fault of the people who burned it down.
But what he's saying is that we've tried it. We've unified. We tried it, and it didn't work.
So what are you just suggesting? What?
The Bible. Actually reading it. Here, finish. No. Can you finish? You drop that because it talks exactly about it, right? Because like I was saying, man, our people have this. We're energetic for the Lord, but we do everything that's opposite of what He wants, right? And then as opposed to dealing with the man on His terms, we do everything. We do what we want to do, and that is the problem. You got it?
Yeah. All right, it says after all these years of refusing, Clifford, after all these years of refusing to really deal with God on His terms.
On His terms, we really deal with God on His terms, right?
Insisting instead on making their own deals, they have nothing to show for it.
Right? You'd rather do it your way. when it's never worked.
But it's not their people's faults. Things change.
If
That was back then. Centuries.
So then what? So then what should we do then? If it was
I
back
just
then,
said-
how do we fix it? What do we do? You already said unification. We tried it. It didn't work. What do we do?
That was a small group of people.
And it didn't work.
So what do you suggest?
Like I said, we thought we'd get back to the culture that was given to us.
Okay, that's maybe one suggestion, but it doesn't sound plausible. Those people over there, Revolution Books, they want to pick up arms, weapons.
Okay, you remember Nat Turner? He had arms. He had weapons. What happened to
I
him?
didn't say it was the right thing to do.
So then what do we do then?
I don't know.
And that's the problem. And that's the problem. You have no idea what we need to do. And when I'm telling you what we need to do, and you refuse to listen. Like he just read. You want to deal with God on your own terms. You want to deal with God with how you see him. You don't want to deal with God with how He wants you to deal with Him.
Okay, Brother Clifford, can you name something in the Bible that you can point to and say that's not going to work? Name me something. Name me something that won't work for us Black Latinos and Native Americans that's in the Bible.
That's not going to work?
That's not going to work. For example, I'm going to give you an example. Having a tender eye to your brother. Whenever I see a brother, I'm supposed to look at him as I see me and help him. Would that work for our people?
Yeah.
Would not feeding disgusting animals to my people so that they're healthier, would that work for our people?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So what wouldn't work for our people that's in the Bible, Clifford?
That would take a massive change.
Something, but of course, yeah. It is like it's part of my faith personally. For us to get right, it would literally take an act of God. Because when you look at how we operating as blacks and Latinos, it's hard to see righteous, godly men with what is portrayed. Whether it be TV, in the media, real life, right? It's hard to see godly men. It's hard to see us with those crowns. Right? You got that? You got that Isaiah for me?
Yeah, I got
right.
it.
Because ultimately, this is one of the things that were promised to us. Right? Go ahead.
Chapter 1, verse 1, right?
Yep.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel.
Right. So our God is going to come back to us because he's going to make it to where we will never be in the captivity again, right? This is something that we're looking forward to, right? Keep going.
And set them in their own land, and the stranger shall
Go ahead.
be joined with them.
Right. So He's going to send us home, right? We're no longer going to be in this strange land, right? We're going to be sent home.
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord. For servants and handmaids.
Right? You want servants? You want handmaids?
No.
You want people to help take care of you?
No.
No? Okay. All right.
And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were.
Uh-huh.
And they shall rule over their oppressors.
Right. Keep going.
And it shall come to pass, in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow.
Right. You want how about rest from your sorrows? Yeah. You want rest from your sorrows? Sounds good, right? You may not want service to help take, but you want rest from your sorrows, right? Keep going.
And from the fear and from the hand bondage wherein thou wast made to serve.
Right. So we get rest from our sorrows. We would no longer be living in fear. Right. We won't have to worry about that cop that he pulled him over, but he's blurping. Who knows? Because he might be at me.
What would we have to do in your eyes to get that?
I have no idea.
To get rest from our sorrows.
I don't know.
Like if you would be realistically, what needs to happen in order for the black man, Latino, and Native American to have rest, to not be oppressed no more? What needs to happen?
I don't know. I don't know if that's the answer. I don't know if they have the answer, but
Well, see, because what they're talking about in the revolutionary story is a short term. And the problem with their revolution is that they're still going to be in America under this white system.
Okay, but
We're talking
how much
about
longer do we have to wait?
how long is it gonna take for you to get into this Bible and start following our culture?
That's not going to work.
And that's the problem. That's why we're waiting so long.
And that's
Because we're waiting on brothers and sisters like you who refuse to do it. Just refuse and just turn their backs on the culture.
well, if it could all be easier if God just came down and made his point.
He's
And we wouldn't have to.
he's making his point.
No, he isn't.
You're an African American. He's made his point. He's made his point.
You don't know who you are. Nothing.
Nothing.
What?
You don't know your ethnicity. He made his point. His point is made.
I got Deuteronomy 28:37.
You have to go ahead and read it.
Please, no more. I gotta go.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment,
An astonishment, right?
a proverb, a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
Right. So we're gonna be a proverb and a byword among all nations. Do you know how many languages have a derogatory euphemism for us? We're a proverb. We call everything but a child of God. Right?
So like it too. That first one that he brought to you about getting put on slave ships, that's verse 68. From 15 to 68, those are all curses that's supposed to happen to the children of Israel. You said you want him to come down, make his point. He made his point by having more than 40 something
Right.
curses happen to only us.
That's right.
Very specifically. This is going to happen to you. This is going to happen to you so that you understand who you are and you can turn back to God. And you still want more? You still want more, Clifford?
And they're all being punished. We're all being punished.
Yes.
Because we didn't follow.
Because we didn't follow our culture.
Lots of people don't follow their culture.
We're not talking about them. We're talking about us.
Didn't this God make everybody?
Sure, but he doesn't care about other people. He only cares about us.
So that sounds like the Jews. This is our land. God promised.
But it's not. It's our land. They took our book and ran with it. They took our. When you were growing up, did you ride bikes?
Yeah.
Right? So God gave us a custom built bike. Right? He gave us a custom bike. Had all the bells and whistles and everything on it. But these other nations, these Jewish people, they took our bike and became some of the most powerful people in the world. Now, if they did that with their bike, what do you think you could do with the bike? You could do more. It's custom built for you. Yeah. It fits you perfectly. They gotta adjust it. They gotta make adjustments. But they still do all types of madness with it. What do you think you can do with it?
I'll read the one more thing again. I don't know. I got it. Thanks, guys.
You got one more?
No more.
One more.
You don't got it. This Ezekiel 12:27. Behold, Salakia, son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say, this vision that he seeth is for many days to come, and he prophesieth of times that are far off. Therefore say unto them, thus said the Lord God, there shall none of my words be prolonged any more, but the words which I have spoken shall be done, saith Yahweh.
Right, so it's all gonna happen. God said it was gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You may think it's far away. It may not be. It may not be today. It may not be tomorrow. You never know when it's coming, man. You gotta prepare.
Yeah.
Get back to following your culture, man. Stop being ignorant of who you are. Stop being ignorant of what you are. Understand you're a child of God. Right? What do you think about that?
I don't think parents just abandon their children.
Who said we walked out on him? It wasn't we walked out on him. We dropped out.
That part.
It wasn't the other way around, man. He didn't turn his back on us. We turned his back on him. Right?
That's how he still does today.
Exactly. And we're still doing it. Because you just think about it. Think about this. if he abandoned us, why did we survive so long in this captivity when all they do is kill us? That's all they do.
Because we're the ones who are resilient.
Hold on. Hey, Clifford. This is how I know you turn your back on God. What's God's name?
Jehovah,
Is there J's in Hebrew?
Yahweh,
Is there E's in Hebrew?
I don't know.
That's our point, brother. That's our point.
That's the point we've been making, man. Us as blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans have walked away from our culture. We turned our back on our God. Huh? Yahweh.
That's right.
Not Yahweh.
Not Yahweh, it's Yahweh. And it brings fear. That name brings fear to these other nations. Because they know when we start calling on our God, they know they have hell to pay.
Okay, I gotta go.
All right, man. Hey, the YouTube's on the pamphlet, man. You can check it out. And you be safe tonight. All right. Anything? You got anything?
Yeah, I got.
You got something? Right. Let me get this one. Look, it's right here. Let me get what is it? Numbers. Let me get Exodus. Let me get Exodus 23 and 24. Right.
I got it.
And
This is Sirach 42 and 8. Be not ashamed to inform the unwise and foolish, and the extreme aged that contendeth with those that are young. Thus shalt thou be truly learned and approved of all men living.
right, man, we can't be afraid to contend with them, man. Just because they're old, just because they're older than us, man, and they always want to use that trump card that you don't know anything, right? But you know, we just schooled this elder right here, real quick, cleaned him up, real nice, right? And you know, that's essentially that's what's going on, man. Since we turned our back on our God, right? People have to relearn, and they think because they're older than us that they don't need it. You got it?
Yep. 23, 24? Mm-hmm. Exodus chapter 23, verse 24. Thou shalt not bow down to their God.
Oh, so excuse me. Numbers, Salakia. Numbers 23. Salakia. Numbers 23, right? You know, and you know this one that I got my brother bringing out, right? It goes back to it, man. It's like, you know, we've lost as a people, lost our. It's like we lost our will to live, man. It's like the fire that we have under us, man, is gone, right? You got it.
Yep. Numbers chapter 24.
20.
Numbers chapter 23, verse 24.
Yeah.
Behold, the people shall rise up as a great lion.
Right, man. It's saying the children, us people, man, us Israelites are gonna rise up as a great lion, right? And you know, lions, man, they run around, they rule the kingdom, man. This is how we should be, being lions, man. We gotta, you know, learn to fight. Luckily, our fight isn't a physical thing, so we don't have, man. All we gotta do is just get back to following our culture. Keep going.
And lift up himself as a young lion. He shall not lie down until he eat of the prey and drink the blood of the slain.
Right, and that's what we want to do, right? We want to become lions, get all the promises that God has promised to us, to our forefathers, right? And eat of the prey, man. What's going on with you, man? You believe in the Bible? All right. Well, with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh and say shalom.